Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Ipswich Town 0, Everton 2. An away win for the Toffees. It feels good. The first time since December the 16th. Long time ago. But on that occasion we won 2-0. And on this occasion we won 2-0. And you know, you can't argue with that. 4 games unbeaten, 2 victories, 2 draws in the last block of 4 fixtures. Back-to-back clean sheets and an away win to boot. Good results, good day out for the Evertonians and a clean sheet.
Yeah, good results against the team that we should be beating. I think we've lost that ability to say that at times. I think we all, at times, have become
terrified of everyone.
A little bit worried to say things like that. You know, this is a team we should be beating, because a lot of the time it doesn't happen. But it was good that we went there, we imposed ourselves, the experience of the team was a major factor, and we got the job done. And I think that's all you can ask of this team. I think, you know, no one's asking for anything above and beyond, are they? You're asking them to be professional, do the job, get the tactics right, and you should be beating 5-6 of these teams without a problem. Certainly away from home anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the context of that is obviously Ipswich have just been promoted. It's not arrogance going, we should be beating these. It's Everton are a better side than Ipswich. They just are, because of the player quality, because of being in the Premier League, that experience. Ipswich haven't spent tons and tons of money, brought players in, absolutely they have. So they've got to find their way in the league, and this was an opportunity for Everton. Always going to be a tricky game going to Portman Road, and they'll give teams a game this season, absolutely they will. But from our perspective, we know that when we get it right, we are capable of beating teams away from home. We haven't shown it in the last 10 months, obviously, but we did at the weekend, and it was good to see. The manager went with Michalenko available again. He come back in at left back. Ashley Young switched back to right back. No Jared Brantwaite. Tarkovsky, Keane there. Midfield, he opted with Decore and the Drishagana game. Mangala dropped out. Dwight McNeil, where he plays. And Ndiaye off the left. Harrison on the right and Dom up front. And now, when a team comes out, some people react, don't they, to it's either, you know, the end of the world or whatever. Not seeing Brantwaite and different things. But the manager watches them all week, picks the team what he thought could do the business, and he went with Decore because he can get about the pitch, and obviously Drishagana Gage still probably Everton's best midfielder when he's on it, in terms of getting around and nicking things and stuff, and it just gave us the right basis to go, I thought, from the start.
Yeah, I the Michael Keane situation, if Jared Brantwaite's not ready, then he's not ready, and that is the way it is. And I think what we've learned in the first 2 months of the season is that they don't think Jake O'Brien is ready. And you look at these games, and this is where you do see that situation of, I know Jacob Greaves wasn't fit for them, but you know, that inexperience, I think, in their backline has cost them, in terms of, like, we've got 2 experienced players, and I think that shows the difference. And maybe we have put Jake O'Brien in, let's just say, that inexperience can be just that little couple of percent that can cost you. Of course, how's he going to get experience if he doesn't get games? It's going to get tougher. But if he's training with players every single day, you would imagine he'll get it, and it just hasn't happened so far. But for me, if Brantwaite's not ready, you've got to make that longer term decision on him. Ironically enough, when the injury got announced, I didn't think he would be ready for this game anyway. Just the nature of it. So I had no problem with that again. And Ashley Young again had that experience. I really do see the value in Ashley Young. I think he took over very much those leadership qualities that have been left out away because there's no Seamus. Can understand. He plays 90 minutes. He's never really a problem. Of course, for someone of his age, there will be little moments, but I think that experience in a game, like, of course, it possibly will cost you in other games. But again, for these games, And again, with Michael Keane at the back, you'd maybe rather look at it and go, well, I'd rather have Michael Keane in for this game and then Branthwaite back for next game where he might be playing slightly tougher opponents for, you know, someone with a little bit of movement or certainly someone who's better in the air. So you pick and choose your battles, and I think from that point of view, he got it right. It's more, I think when the team sheet came out, it was more about what was on the bench. It was more about having 3 right backs.
And again, that's not the...
No, I'm just saying that's not a criticism, that's more of a worry of what are the options on the bench, and there was very few, and you know, really there was only really one that you looked at and went, that will happen in this game. He will take a midfielder off, or he'll take a wide man off or whatever, and he will put Mangala, and that was an absolute certainty. But everyone else, you were like, he's just come back, he's young, he's not going to put better on. So they'd feel like, and that was the anxiety a little bit, was
if it needs
we're only going to make one sub in this game, really, and the only time we're going to make more than one is if we're behind.
No, you're absolutely right, and again, we just need the injuries to subside, don't we? Because then that makes the squad obviously stronger, and that's what the squad's there for, though. If Jarrod Branthwaite's not 100% ready, then Michael Keane plays it. And I know people will want Jake O'Brien to play. He's just got to keep plugging away. He'll get his opportunity, and then he'll have to take it. That, you know, you don't know when that arises. You've got to get in, but every day he's just come to the football club. Every day is the opportunity to impress, and that's what I'm sure he is. He's working hard, and he'll build up to that, and then it's up to the other lads then, isn't it? The same Nathan Patterson, people like that. Ashley Young's fine. Ashley Young had a very good game again at the weekend. He's fine. Do I believe he should be starting for Everton? No. But at the moment, yeah, because Coleman's not fit. Obviously, Patterson I want to see given a run so we can make a decision one way or the other. Roman Dixon's another one. You're hoping he develops into something because he's one who's got the pace. But I understand the manager right now going, well, I know what I'm getting off Ashley Young right now. So he had a solid game, as did Michalenko. So yeah, that was what we went with. But we started quite comfortably, really. We had them pen back a little bit. I think we'd had a shot early on, and then they probably had their best moments in the game, where they built up from the back, they cut through us, but it was a really good move actually, and got an overload, and as the ball was cut back, Jack Clark's on his own, and he should have really, we'd seen at the other end, then Ndiaye get in and roll one back. Ndiaye, I thought he had a shot, he rolled it back to Dwight McNeil, and McNeil just hits it with his left foot. There's a good opportunity for 1-0. He takes a touch ridiculously and then almost winds his left foot up. Yeah. Like, I just need to take a step back, and he ends up giving a foul away. Yeah. At the other end, ironically, Jack Clark could have done that. He could have took a touch and then had a shot. He doesn't. Fortunately for us, he goes at it first time and blazes it over. That was Ipswich's probably best moment in the game. From there, Everton got control of it. And but Dominic Calvert-Lewin had a great opportunity, didn't he? Running through, and you know, we can see the moment here that Ned's got on the screen, so he just puts it on. This is where Ipswich are playing with the ball, and Dom goes and puts them under pressure. The defender comes to try to clear it. There's a coming together. Ned will take it on for me again. It breaks back to Dom. He does well, pushes it out in front of him. We go again, and he's racing in on goal, and you're thinking, right, you'd either step to the right and open the whole goal up, but he keeps the ball close to his body, take it on again, and he ends up in this position. Now, this for me is where you've just got to try to lift it over Murray, because he's on his way down here. Ned taking on one more for us. Dom tries to give him the eyes. It hits Murray's foot and rolls wide. And we've seen him miss these opportunities before, and it's probably what sets him apart from being considered on the next level of a striker, is that these are the ones he kind of passes up. He does really well to get there. If he had that little dink over the keeper finish, he'd add another 5 goals to his tally, I think, each year, because he has them.
I think he'd add 10 goals
a season.
I think he would, because I think the thing about it is, I don't know, but if I'm a goalkeeper and I'm doing my own work, I think I know what Dominic Calvert-Lewin's doing in a one-on-one, because I think recently, goalkeepers have saved. I mean, that happens twice in this one game alone. I think we've seen that recently. He does favour now, because it worked at Villa last year. He does favour that one where he wants to give him the eyes and put it on the inside. And I think goalies are onto that. Do you know what I noticed though? I seen a clip a couple last week or the week before. Esmir Begovic was doing a podcast, and he was talking about being a goalkeeper, and he said, do you know what goalkeepers fear? It's pace. If you hit a ball hard, there's very little a goalkeeper can do, and I think both of our goals prove that. There's nothing you can do about it. It just gets past you before you can even set. He was talking about, like, I think they were asking him about being beaten on your near post.
Yeah, that bit,
And he said that's nonsense. He said, if you smash that ball past on either side, it goes past me before I get a chance to react. And I always think, never mind placements, I just think he hits them so soft. I think because he doesn't have that natural air of confidence when he gets one-on-one, and it's become a thing now with Dom. And I always think he always gives, because as you said, you look at, I mean, Michael Keane's finish is so emphatic, and you're not expecting it, but because Michael Keane is so certain, and obviously we'll talk about it more in a minute, but he's so certain about his own ability striking a ball that he doesn't mind hitting it hard.
No.
And you know when sometimes you watch a penalty or something and you smash it into the top corner, and it's like practice. So it's like, of course I'm going to hit it hard. I've got so much faith in my in my technique. I'm not going to give the goalkeeper any chance whatsoever. And I do think that's the one thing with them. He passes them back and he gives the opportunity. Keeper gets that split second. You know, anything like that. You watch Anthony Gordon's penalty last week. You know, if he hits that hard, Pickford hasn't got a chance. It's the fact that it's slow because he's tried to be clever and place it. I think that's Dom. Dom has to just start levering them. He really just has to start putting his foot through it and making that decision of what he's going to do a lot earlier. I tell you what, he'll score more goals by just putting his foot through it than thinking about it and going, oh, I'll give him the eyes. Confidence that.
Definitely, and for me, I'd have him every day. 15 minutes after training, thinking it, putting things there and making sure you get it over when you
two or three different things, so that the manager goes, or the goalie goes, you know what, I've seen him, I've watched him, I know what he's going to do. Goalies there's so much, we've seen that with the water bottle stuff and all that.
Exactly, you've got to do it, so he needs to do it. But Everton did take the lead, thankfully it didn't go to, didn't let that affect us. We have a ball here, we're going to watch it now, it's over on the left hand side with Harrison. That takes it on. With Everton getting men forward here. He comes back inside, plays a deep ball into the far post. And it's Mykolenko does well because he's looking for Ndiaye over the back there. We'd had one that he'd whipped in and the defender had cleared just a bit earlier as well. This was a good ball in. It just goes high towards Ndiaye. Mykolenko puts Burns, I think it is, under a bit of pressure. And Ndiaye's able to take the ball one touch and smash it with that right foot, high power that you're talking about. Hit through the ball, keeper hasn't got a chance, and Everton lead 1-0. And on the day when his new song was getting sung, Iliman and Ndiaye, number 10, smashes it in, and it was a really well taken goal. And again, does him the world of good, just gives him that little feel good factor. It's his second goal now in the Premier League for Everton. It's just, he's up and running, and it's really good, third goal overall, isn't it, with the cup game? So really well taken goal and give us the perfect start, didn't it?
Yeah, just seizing on someone's mistake, not allowing anyone to have time.
Shows how important Mykolenko being high is as well, though.
Getting it into the mixer, getting the ball into the mixer, into the right area, causes a little bit of problems. The one thing you say about Alisson is he's too busy at times trying to take on the player, or goes outside and doesn't get. Sometimes just get the ball out your feet. We saw it with Ghana a couple of weeks ago, for the goal was disallowed ultimately. Get the ball out your feet and just whip a ball in and see what happens. And luckily enough this time, because we did have men putting pressure on, you say Mykolenko putting that little bit of pressure on, doesn't allow their player to do the basics, which is just clear it. And once it's on the deck, Ndiaye's only goal. And that's another thing about Ndiaye, is that his technique he believes in his technique so much that he has no problem just putting his foot through it, because he's again the confidence is there, and he's done fantastically well so far in an Everton shirt.
Definitely. So that put us one up. We had a couple of moments. We had Dom where McNeil drops one into him. It's a good bit of control, spins and hits in. If it's a little bit further away from Murich's hand, it's 2-0.
I know the shots, but again, no power, is there?
It's the touch and a good turn.
Yeah.
Got to hit through with conviction. Saving McNeil almost caught Murich out with a corner as well.
Yeah, he nearly did.
If we'd have had someone running across the near post and took the keeper's eyes off the ball, might have either ended up just with a simple header in or...
But I think what's the clever thing about that corner was, though, because there's almost like a predictability about Everton's corners, that the goalkeeper was already stealing, like, you know, trying to steal the base.
But that's why if someone would have ran to the near post.
No, I know, but if someone would have ran to the near post, then would the goalie been sacked? The goalie being attacked?
When McNeil runs, I mean, but who knows? But he almost caught him out. But we did get the second goal, and we got it through.
Well, I mean, there was a big moment before.
Well, there was. I mean, let's go to the penalty. That wasn't. We've had this. We suffered this in the Newcastle game, but there was a moment where, made by Everton's own doing, Dwight McNeil could have put his foot through the ball on the edge of the box, and he didn't. Think he tried to meg someone and give the ball away, and Jack Clarke went on a little slalom into the box. McNeil atoned for his mistake by getting goal side. Clarke goes down in a melee. The referee points to the spot, Michael Oliver, and you're thinking, we could have had this game. We could have been 2 up here now, and it, looks like they're going to have the opportunity to equalise. And you see it again, and then one angle, you're like, oh, it looks like a penalty. But then on the other angle, right from behind, you actually see Clarke kick Dwight McNeil's foot. Now, what kept me going was, he's kicked the foot. So if they're going by what they used as the excuse why Everton didn't get a penalty last time out, it won't be a penalty. Do I think that's a penalty? Don't know. It does. I don't know is the real answer, because I still think Calvert-Lewin's was a pen against Newcastle.
But I think Calvert-Lewin's can be a penalty and this not be a penalty. The
only reason why it mightn't be is because McNeil's in front of Clarke when he swings, where Calvert-Lewin burns behind him as he draws the foot back. But listen, Michael Oliver was sent to the screen, and he obviously listened to what
it's not a penalty.
Sure, again, it wasn't.
It's not a penalty, and Dom still is a penalty as far as I'm concerned.
Well, go on,
and I have no. Go on then. I'll tell you why. Because Dom is actually, Dwight McNeil is actually ahead of him when he falls over. Dwight McNeil is actually in possession of the ball, even though he hasn't touched it.
He's going,
and that's the difference for me, is that Dan Burn puts himself in a position where he's not going to get the ball. But I think Dwight McNeil is about to kick that ball. And it's a foul on Dwight McNeil, because that's what it is. It's a foul on him, and I think it was given as a foul.
Well, it's given as a foul.
So it was a foul on Dwight McNeil, because Dwight McNeil's in possession of the ball. You watch when he goes to kick it, Dwight McNeil's actually ahead of him.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's why, for me, that it's not a penalty, because Dwight McNeil's about to kick that ball away, and that's the difference. If people might just think, oh, you're just... No, honestly, that's the way I look at it now. There you go.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But go and just even if you want to go by... In any circumstance, it's not a penalty. Any circumstance. That might make me wrong about Doms, but I'd rather be wrong. I mean, things are supposed to even themselves out, and in this way they sort of have, so.
Wasn't given. Kieran McKenna still thinks it was a penalty, but it wasn't given. And we escaped that, didn't we? And that was really it from Ipswich. There was nothing else. They didn't do anything else, really. Liam Delap thought was had a nightmare all day. Didn't look like a Premier League striker, even though I've been really impressed with him this season. Just on Saturday, for some reason, he decided to try to be like the hard man, and you lose. You're not out harding James Tarkowski. It's never happening ever in a million years.
Out harding?
No, not a word, but I've just said it. Okay. So there you go. You're not out hard manning James Tarkowski. So their threat through him was gone. Omari Hutchison, who I was really impressed with last season for them, just couldn't really get into it. And Everton just had control of the game, and Ndiaye holding the ball, coming inside, beating 3 or 4, laying it off. Just give us always that element of control. And we end up getting the second goal. It's a corner that isn't cleared, goes up in the air. Great first touch by Dwight McNeil on the edge of the box, and shapes as if he's going to go backwards and just turns back inside, and it sells the Ipswich play, and then threads a lovely little ball to Michael Keane, who wraps it into the roof of the net with an unbelievable left foot finish. We can see it here. Ned's already gone early. So we've got the ball there, so take it on a bit, Ned. It's thrown in. We go on again. Get to the good bit. It goes up in the air, and you can see it. Everton's still got a lot of players in the box. McNeil's underneath it. It comes down, and it's a great first touch. This and takes him back towards the penalty.
I think this is what he was trying to do at the other end.
Yeah. And as he goes the other way, he just threads a lovely little ball to Michael Keane. And what Keane does brilliantly here, any young striker watching, let it run across your body. All centre back. Let it run across your body. Don't take the first contact. Let it run across his body. I mean, look at that.
And look at that, though. I mean, that's
arrows it high.
That's what we're talking about with pace. Look how hard. Look where the goalie is.
Yeah.
No one's going, oh, the goalie's done poorly there.
And again, or is that the last one?
He has smashed it past them, and there's nothing the goalie can do.
No.
And if that's the lesson to Dom, is start smashing your shots. No, genuinely though, start smashing your shots, because if they go in, then that's better than what's going on right now, isn't it? So, and it's a fantastic finish from someone who truly believes in himself when he gets in the final third, and we've seen that every time. I don't think I've ever seen Michael Keane not hit the target from a shot. Genuinely, you know, like when you see like play like what we see with the Disagana Gay, don't we? Where, you know, the amount of times where he just like you think, oh, and then it's at the back of the Gladys. I don't think I've ever seen Michael Keane that I can remember of him. Like they always seem to arrow into the back of the net.
Well, we saw him Bournemouth, wasn't it, when it just got cushioned down to him, just drove it beyond the keeper. He's a really good finisher and confidence in what he does, and I think I've seen his thing saying it's just from, you know, as a kid, hitting through the ball, and he was a striker, of course, and that natural striking of the ball is still there. It's an absolute worldie of a goal, and you know, if your centre forward scores it, we'd be waxing lyrical if that was done, wouldn't we? Roll across his body, roof of the net. It's an absolute worldie of a striking. Give Everton, you know, put Everton in an absolute commanding position, and you know, like you said, we could have added more. We get to half time 2-0, as comfortable as a 2-0 as you'll see all season, and then you are thinking, are they going to come out and you know, put us under real pressure? But what Everton did was Everton started the second half quick as well and dampened down any little response from Ipswich, and so much so that we passed off another 2 or 3 really good chances. Dominic Calvert-Lewin twice. One where he does the hard bit in terms of the keeper's on the floor, and he gets it out of his feet, and if he just hits it, he scores, and then he hesitates, and then the chance goes, and he has to end up trying to play it back, and I think we get a corner, and Ndiaye had one where he run through, and it was a bit of a back pass finish. Dom does brilliantly. Another one, strong, runs at the Ipswich defence, throws it across the 6-yard box, and there's a tremendous bit of defending from the centre-back, stopping it, getting to the Corey for a tap-in. Dom has a shot on the turn. We have a couple of fizz across the 6-yard, and you're just thinking, oh my God, we've been here before. Get it killed off. But we couldn't. But the Ipswich, the only fear, and I really should have got this image and put it up, but the attacking threat, and Everton's attacking threat ends about the 70th minute. There's literally nothing after 70, and it's Ipswich.
It's quite consistent, that.
Yeah, they made 5 changes and just freshened it up, and we only had Mangala.
The thing is, though, that's a legitimate concern, and I did mention this on Twitter on Saturday. I think I got a little bit of abuse about it, of course, but it is that is just that in this game we were very comfortable, but there is that change after 70 minutes. And listen, some games like this, I think the manager will look at it and go, it's not an issue today. But it only, I know it is buts and maybes, and you can't play into this, but for the bigger picture, it only takes one hitting someone on the arse and then dropping to somebody, or you know, to be fair, the lad did have one where it went over, but it was a case of like, if you could see that in the back of the net, or the head of the ad that just gone over. You give up too many chances, you encourage the opposition. Teams with better quality not only will punish, have punished us this season. Villa, Bournemouth, we've seen it already, that teams have punished us because of that last 20 minutes. And it is important, no matter, you can go, well, we won this game and it's dead easy. But that is something that is, of course, really important. We obviously brought Mangala, but it was probably a little bit later than I would have. I think if I'd learned anything from the Bournemouth game, it's it's reacting before you need to react. It's getting a sub on.
Being proactive.
Yeah. Doing the longer version of it. It's getting a sub on maybe 5 or 10 minutes before you actually need to, just so that they can get into the game while you're not. I mean, I wouldn't say we were under the cosh,
no.
But you've just said we couldn't get out of our half. So you're asking a player to get, and straight away he gives a silly foul away because he's straight into a game which, and I just like Sean Dyche to go, hang on, we're all right here. How about, and to be made with me, that wouldn't have been Ndiaye, taking Ndiaye off, by the way. That'd have been taking somebody else off and going, quite comfortable here. Let's bring the midfielder on now. Because actually we can swap go like for like, and it won't cause too much too many issues. Later on in the game, is there a chance that we might have another sub? Will possibly, could Mykolenko maybe have come off, Ashley Young swap sides, and maybe Seamus comes on again just to change it up, freshen it up? Or, you said earlier to me, would Beto, is that a game where you go, well, we're already under pressure, so let's just bring Beto on, and pressure, not real pressure, but could we bring Beto on in those moments?
Just get him turning. Yeah, it's when you're doing this, you're looking at all of it. If you just look in isolation, you go, it's comfortable, you won't shoot. But they did have the corner that come in, the lads hit it into the floor, and it's like, of course teams have chances, but if that goes in, then all of a sudden a game that you should be out of sight. And it's not the manager's fault you're not out of sight, because he's looking at you passing up opportunity. But all of a sudden it goes 2-1. We've been here before. The nerves start and all that. So there is those moments where I just think in general, in any game of footy, if 5 lads are coming on with that 25 minutes left, they're fresh, and you're starting to feel a little bit tired, naturally momentum's going to shift back. And I think, listen, maybe with more options off the bench he might have made more subs, but just something we have got to be wary of, because they did have those moments where you're going, wasn't nothing too terrifying, but you could see a way back in, where in other games that it's just happened, they've got the way back in. Mykolenko not clearing one on the far post against Bournemouth would have cleared it for 2-0, and who knows how that plays out. He doesn't. Semenyo knocks it in, they win the game. It's those little things that we've got to be wary of. Sure, the manager is, but you want more players available. Dwight McNeil said a few times last season that this is where I saw him playing. Some people were with me, some were against me for him playing in this role. But the reason why I was championing him in this position is because he gets a little bit more space, and he has got an eye for a pass, and also he's the only one really in our team who can drive a ball at goal. And I just think because he's got no pace and no real, he's not a top class dribbler, sticking him out wide doesn't really do him any favours. And because we don't have a raiding fullback either, you're showing up all his frailties, where I think when he's centrally, and he was everywhere, we'll have a look now, but I just think because he's in there, he has got the eye for the pass, he can see a shot, he can come and take the ball, he's comfortable in possession, albeit he does go round the circle because of the left foot. But he had another good game at the weekend. Let's have a look at his numbers. For Everton, he had 88% passing accuracy, 1 assist, won 3 out of 7 of his ground duels, completed 1 out of 1 dribble, and made 2 key passes. And obviously he is Everton's chief creator. He's getting more and more of it. I know set pieces play a part in that, but he is in there. But he did well again, and this position really looks made for him right now, doesn't it, with this Everton team?
Yeah, I think it does. I think he likes that little pocket on the right hand side, so he can get the ball onto his left foot. Don't dribble outside our box. No, but I mean the goal, he done fantastically for the goal. The second goal, he kept it alive. He didn't panic. And again, that's an area where the pitch where you go, do what you want, mate.
Oh yeah,
do what you want,
absolutely.
There. Because you can open the game up, and he did. And of course, his set pieces are fantastic. And we don't want him back on the left, because Ndiaye is doing brilliantly out there. And I tell you what, without any disrespect to Mykolenko, if we had a Luca Dean type left back, I honestly think this would open up this team massively, because not only would you have someone going down the left and putting crosses in, but the way that would open it up for Ndiaye would be massive, and would help the likes of Dwight McNeil out as well.
Definitely, yeah.
and taking a little bit of pressure off them. So he's been good. I do look at it at times in games like this again and go, I do think he should be the player coming off and not Ndiaye. I don't get that. I'm being picky here, but I don't get that. I don't get the thing of like, stick him on the. Ndiaye's work rate is so incredible, and when you look at the numbers for his tackling and stuff, it's as high as McNeil ever had at left side. So the one thing again is that thing of like going, if we're going to add another man in midfield, do it properly and leave Ndiaye on there to give us that threat. Because I think if he's the outball and then you still have a Dom on the pitch, the opposition can't take their eyes off him.
The other thing as well, if there was one when McNeil went on the left, it was near the end actually, and we give the ball away in their half, and they broke. It wasn't like a massive thing, but they broke. But McNeil was jogging back because he was knackered. Yeah. He was like shuffling, and they just left him for dead. And you don't. And Ndiaye sprints back.
That's not McNeil's fault.
No, it's not Dwight's fault.
I do think that's the manager
sticking to
favourites. I think Ndiaye's proven that he's well capable of defending that left hand side.
But that's picky. No, it is picky. But McNeil was excellent again. So well.
And again, if he's sticking him on there because he's worried about the fullback as well, then mate. Put Seamus Coleman on and put Ashley Young on the other side. It's not any. See, that to me, I don't personally believe that just disrupts things, because I think Ashley Young. I'm thinking about left back. Ashley Young is so versatile and understands the game so well that he can do that anyway. So it doesn't. But again, that might be like the manager will go, well, actually, these two are only on the bench for emergencies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was, but we just mentioned Michalenko, and I thought he had he's obviously had a stop-start season. He's not been fully right since the Merseyside derby, has he? When he had to go off the knee injury, and he's missed things, and back in the Euros, but only played a little bit of it and then injured again. But I thought on Saturday, I thought he had a really solid game. Michalenko's numbers were excellent. Let's have a look at his numbers from the game. Passing accuracy 88%, 3 tackles, won 100% of his ground duels, blocked 1 shot, and had 3 clearances, and a couple of his other wasn't dribbled past at all in the game, and things like that. So
heat map like a hot sperm.
The heat map was there, and a bit higher as well than what he's normally a hot sperm. We normally see, but I thought he had a good game, and obviously getting him high for the Ndiaye goal as well was key. But he probably had his best game of the season, I think, so far for me.
Yeah, he stuck to the task. I think sometimes it's better for him when there's a wide man who just wants to take him to the byline. Rather, I think that's his strength. I think he did all right. I think now. It's funny how things start to. I think it's funny when things start to. You look at a team and think, where can you improve on? And for me, I think there's 2 positions. I know centre forward is one. That's going to become a necessity, but we've got another 3 there. But I think what's opened I think we need a left back. That's what I'm saying. We need another left back who can get up the pitch, and I think we need a rangy centre midfielder as well. Because I think Decore showed if you've got that. Get round the pitch, whether Tim Irabunu,
he's another one out of contract.
Whether Tim Irabunu manages to fill that role, who knows? Very inexperienced right now. But I think if Michalenko had that competition of someone there who a left back who actually can raid up and down, as I said, I think that would open this team up. Or who's to say that Michalenko with the shackles off could do that? We've not seen loads of evidence of that so far, but I really feel like if there was another left back.
Well, we need one anyway.
No, I know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't be afraid to say that, by the way, just because Michalenko's been one of our better players in the last 18 months. We shouldn't be afraid to say if we had a left back who could get up and down. I just think it would open the team up.
We have 4 right backs in the squad on Saturday.
Yeah, indeed.
So why wouldn't we have another left back?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And a more attacking one. So then you've got complementary players. You've got, you might be we're going away, and this is going to be a more defensive display today because these are really good. It's Michalenko. Next week we're at home to a team who we really need to get after. It's X.
But also,
who's going to play.
I mean, it's competition as well.
Mr. X.
It's competition as well. But also, Michalenko's injury problems at the beginning of the season, Of course, we've had 1 minute we haven't got a right back, then we've got 4. You know, 1 minute we've got loads of central midfielders, now we've got 2 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's this is what happens in football. You will. So I think it's vitally important that we are looking for a left back now who really can get up and down. And if Ndiaye, if that's going to be his position, which you know. It might well be, but if you have get another left back in who can complement him, and then let them duel it out for that role. If we want to be better, we need better players. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't wed yourself to a player and go, we can't do anything. And we feel like that with Jarrod Branthwaite, but Michael Keane at the weekend, my man of the match. I give him man of the match. I thought he had a really good game. The goal obviously tipped it over. Give him, you know, from other players like Dwight McNeil, who was really good, and Michalenko, and Tahi had his best numbers. Ashley Young had a really solid game, you know, and you're looking at it like that. But Michael Keane, let's have a look at his overall stats from Saturday. 90% pass accuracy, 1 goal, 1 out of 2 of his ground duels, 7 clearances, 1 tackle. Yeah, there's his heat map.
Look at the little heat map in the box where he scored.
Yeah, it's great. That just signals.
The little heat map.
The only shot he had, mate, has Erling Haaland got 100% strike rate in a game? I don't know. But Michael Keane certainly has. I thought he did really well. There's other things, you know, the one thing I've said it on one or the other, probably the live, that he contested 2 aerial duels and didn't win a single one, which is a bit mad given how big he is.
And his eyes closed.
But he had a good game, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
And that's what's good there is, we've got Jarrod Branthwaite, who's obviously will train all week and may well come back in against Fulham, but that's what you want, don't you? Michael Keane, come in, do your job, have a good game, and then the manager has a difficult call. Then.
Yeah, the manager said when he dropped Jarrod Branthwaite, he said about Michael Keane how difficult it was to drop Michael Keane.
Branthwaite.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. When he dropped Michael Keane, he said how difficult it was dropping him. I know a lot of us would have sniggered at that, but the manager obviously believes in him. And the confidence that must bring him is massive. And, Michael Keane's biggest issue is that he has a serious lack of confidence. And some days it's up and some days it's down. And Saturday, after having a good game against Newcastle, he's playing well, and it gives us that competition now. And I've seen people mention it, saying, well, maybe you take Tahi out, but I don't think the like for like Tahi. Tahi's aggressive and he wins a lot of headers, and Michael Keane doesn't contest a lot of those headers because of Tahi. And I think for me with Branthwaite, when he's fit, he plays, and that's it. Because he's one of those. He's one of only maybe a couple of players, 3 players maybe in the entire squad that are elite enough to be you have to play him.
I did say on the live today, you've got to create that opportunity in the squad of, if I get a chance and I take it, I stay in. But someone did point out to me that even in our great sides, we had Harper and Richardson, Alan Harper, Kevin Richardson, unbelievable. But a lot of times they come in and be unbelievable, and when Kevin Sheedy was fit, he was back in, or when Gary Stevens was fit, he was back in, or whoever it may be, they were back out the side. Sometimes Richardson, to be fair, kept his place, but it was only for the odd game, and then he was back out, because players are top, some players are top class, and you feel like you'd have to play them. But all you can do as a player is, and certainly one who's trying to find a way in the team or the squad, is go and perform to the best of your ability. Just more on Michael Keane, John sent me this. So Michael Keane's goal registered 0.04. A lot of them say 0.03, so we'll call it 0.35, which is a 3.5 in 100 chance of ending up in the back of the net. He's now scored.
The people who do this don't know Michael Keane.
No. Well, Michael Keane's got 13 Premier League goals for Everton from an XG of just 10.
Not bad.
His goal at Portman Road was his second of the Premier League season, and no defender has scored more goals than Everton's centre-back this season. So there you go. Well in, Michael. Wrap in another couple for us. Let's have a look at the overall numbers from the game at the weekend. There we go. Ipswich 0, Everton 2. 13 attempts for the Tractor Boys, 11 for Everton. 2 on target for Ipswich, 8 on target for Everton. And Ipswich won the possession, but that's a bit more possession than Everton, like 45%. We normally the hot spot.
But that's a lot better than that. I mean, I'm saying we thought we'd lose the possession heavily.
Quite heavily, game. Yeah. So it just showed you we did have more. And I think what I said in my Mathew, and I don't know going to finish now on this bit, but I don't know whether you agree or don't agree. But I said in my match reaction, Saturday was a demonstration for me that we can actually play football. We played some lovely stuff at times, and we took the game to Ipswich. And I think I want to see the shackles come off this. This is what Everton should, in my opinion, should be doing against at least 10, 11 teams in this league. There'll be times when we go, they're a better side, and we have to just try to see what we can get.
Yeah,
we always play like,
but it's
with the underdog.
The manager's results against teams, promoted teams, are really good, and he goes. These are the games where he knows that he's got to win them and goes out to win them. And I think we all feel like we'd like to see us have a little bit more of a go against other teams. Certainly at home, and it's almost like I don't know, like they look at it and go, "Ooh, we can't do anything against these, so let's set out to go long." Where I thought on Saturday, I thought we played well, and I thought we got the ball down, we tried to move it, nice little triangle. We've got some talented players in the team.
What about the one in the first half? The ball comes up to Garner, he steps over it, runs around the lad, and then plays the outside of the foot to Dom. And he gets in, those. I've
always said Garner was a number 10.
Well, he was a number 10 at Lille.
Always said it.
Things like that don't go unnoticed.
No, it was again, that was lovely. And
there was a good little bit of play.
You've got the likes of Ndiaye, you've got the likes of Dwight McNeil playing in a more central role. You've got decent footballers who can play. They're not yard dogs.
Jack Harrison, one of the first few minutes, went on the outside through with a cross with his right foot and the keeper caught it. If he'd done that 6 or 7 times, instead of having to come back, Dom could then gamble on the near post,
I think,
and get across defenders.
That's maybe why he likes the Corey midfield, because he has got the legs to get it back. I thought Garner was great on Saturday, by the way. I thought he was just dead professional, doing his job as always, just better than anyone else. And it's,
hell of a player.
He's just a hell of a player, by the way.
Jeff, get your song back out, lad.
I just think that, there are, no one's going, we beat Ipswich, we're amazing. But I think we have to get away from talking. It's what we talked about before, about saying, having that little bit of confidence. It's not ego, it's not being stupid, it's going, do you know what, I fancy us in this game, why not? We've got better players, or we think we've got better players. And, okay, the squad, we can get a few more back. I don't know how many we'll be back at the weekend. Every time we seem to have a certain quota of players, we lose more. It's like there's only allowed to be so many on the bus. Do you know what I mean?
My mate always calls it the danger zone. From when Dyche gives the press conference to when the squad.
That's the highway.
That's the thing.
Where the highway starts.
So you look and go, because often he'll go, we're looking, and then the next minute the team comes out.
But it was apparently sickness at the weekend. He did quite frankly say that it must have been coming out of all ends of poor Jesper. He did literally say that, by the way, that it was too dangerous to bring him down here. I thought, I bet get him his own bus.
Especially on the way down there.
Get him his own bus.
Miles away.
Or some man nappies, whichever one.
Oh, God.
And he said Beto had a little bit of problem as well, but he could hold it in.
He had the plug.
So, some interesting games coming up now where you think...
there is,
We've got a chance.
Patricia Garner Gay, 90%, just for the people who say he gives the ball away, 90% passing accuracy, 11 out of 11 in the defensive third, 18 out of 21 in the middle third, 7 out of 8 in the attacking third.
He's gone early on the tights though.
5 ball recoveries, 1. 2 out of 3 of his tackles, 1 interception. Won 100% of his aerial duels, but he has gone early on the tights. Well, fair play to him. He likes wearing them. He's 35.
I'm just glad that away kick got a win because it's beautiful.
It is a nice.
It's beautiful.
You don't want to be looking at
the Ndiaye 10 on the back. I think it's a
collector's item.
It could be a decent one. That.
Good one. It's early days, but let's hope we can continue. Back-to-back clean sheets, which is good. 4 unbeaten now, which again is good.
Yeah.
On to Fulham at the weekend. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. What you do was your man of the match. What did you think about the performance? And should Jared Brantwaite come straight back into the side at the weekend? Who knows? But what a great goal by Michael Keane. Should he be considered the Paul Warhurst of Everton 2024-25 season? Who knows? Who knows? We'll be carrying on now on Toffee TV Premier. If you want to join that, the link is in the description. QR code's on the screen now. See you later.